So here I am looking around like, girl, who is Auntie and why are y'all looking for her in the water? Aunt Triton? Is this Auntie Triton? Who are you looking for?
The request line is to make that magic request.
And request you did. As soon as I opened up that request line, I knew the Twilight Zones were going to be one of the #1 requests that y'all had. What I didn't know was that the Bewitching Pool episode would be the #1 request that I got over and over from different people. Baby, it's been 2 weeks since we've gone to the Twilight Zone, so let's take a trip. This is season 5, episode 36, the Bewitching Pool. I'm actually going to break the fourth wall for just a second and insert my actual response to the first line of this episode.
Father and I are going to divorce.
Oh my God.
Now, if you don't know what that means, well, it means that he's...
Ironically enough, for us that live in America, this episode is about divorce. And that quite literally is how the episode opens. The episode starts with these 2 children that are sitting there with their parents at a very nice house with a very nice pool that the kids obviously just got out of. And the mama comes up to them and she's like, children, we're getting a divorce. So the mom goes on to say, that also means that we're going to live as far apart from each other as possible. And now here's the next question. Do you want to live with him or do you want to live with me? And I'm like, right. Is this what you're giving us? This is the last episode of Twilight Zone and you giving us something this sad? So of course the kids are kids and they're like, no, we want it the way it was. And they're like, yeah, no, that ain't happening. Like the parents obviously hate each other. Oil and water. Now I'm going to insert a clip of her voice because it sounds like an adult was doing the voiceover to this child actor's voice. And I don't know why. I hated this.
Just dived in our pool and came out here. Just dived in our pool and came out here. Just dived in our pool and came out here.
So this is when I lean in. The children genuinely believe that the reason that they're getting divorced is because they have not been behaving. And the parents are like, no, actually, y'all are the reason that we stayed together so long. I hate him. I hate him worse than a cold day and no bra. Hey, so the kids are like, you know what? We don't have to stay with either of y'all. And they take off running, right? And I'm literally like, now this is where we have some cultural differences because in my household, if my parents were speaking to me, I was there until they were done speaking to me. I was not jetting off to my room, let alone a pool. Baby, ain't no way. So they start running to the pool and it gets interesting because they act as if they're going somewhere in the pool. They jump in. So the kids are in the pool. They start screaming for somebody named Auntie, saying, help me, Auntie, help me. Mind y'all, we are 1 minute and 53 seconds in. This is so damn chaotic. So here I am looking around like, girl, who is Auntie and why are y'all looking for her in the water? Aunt Triton? Is this Auntie Triton? Who are you looking for? So the kids dive further into the pool and slowly disappear. And the parents are out there now yelling at them, talking about, oh, y'all have really done it now. This is part of the reason that the kids think it's their fault because y'all don't know how to talk to these children. They're children. So now the parents get worried because the kids are down there so long that it becomes pretty obvious that they are going to either drown or come back up. They're not coming back up. So the dad hops in and the wife is, of course, just out of her mind, which, okay, yeah, your kids are drowning. You should be a little concerned, but they're literally not there. The dad comes back up. He's like, I don't see them. They're not there. This is when Uncle Rod comes on the screen and tells us that this pool has an escape that leads to Never Never Land. And I'm going to read it because he says, it's for juniors who need a long voyage away from reality. My brain immediately went to a very dark place, and I genuinely hope that Rod Serling is not about to show us these, you know what? I'm not going to say it. Because when we're talking about people who need a long voyage from reality, yikes. I still, you know, to this day, I still think that Pinocchio passed. I don't think that he made it out that Pleasure Island or whatever it was. No. So this is when Rod does a little breakdown for us. He rewinds a little bit and he's like, let me tell y'all something. So this is Jeb and Sport. These are the kids. The kids, fantastic, the way you would want your kids to be. This is the mother, Gloria. She's beautiful. Everything that you think you would want your mom to be. This is Gil. Gil is a father. He is rich, prosperous, has beautiful home, beautiful children. Everything you want your life to be, except if you actually peek behind that facade, it's a hot mess. Well, that's not exactly what he said, but essentially that's what he told us. The children are literally just playing in the water. The mother and the father see each other and she's like, you're home early. He looks at her. He's like, oh, you're in town this week? First of all, y'all hate each other. I see, yeah, y'all definitely need to get a divorce because y'all don't like each other. As the kids are playing, as kids do at a pool, the mom is like, hush all that screaming. I'm telling y'all right now, the kids were not doing anything, we're just splashing each other and laughing. The little boy holds his breath and the girl is like, you're gonna suffocate yourself. Why are you holding your breath? He's like, it's the only way I can be quiet, or else she yells at us. Hey, can I get CPS on the phone? I think we have 2 children that have parents that didn't want to be parents, but had kids anyway. What Michael Jackson say? If you can't feed the baby, then don't have the baby. I'ma change it. If you don't like kids, don't have the kids. They're children. They're literally playing in a pool. I'm watching this as I'm breaking this down. This is a hot mess. Like, I cannot believe these 2 people were talking to each other like this. So this is going to be a breakdown that has some fourth wall breaks, and y'all just going to have to be okay with that because I'm shook at what I'm watching. Gil, the father, goes, I saw your car in the parking lot at the TV station. She's like, well, yeah, where else would a high-end model be? He starts laughing like, model, as if she made a joke. He don't like this lady and she don't like this man. And now I'm starting to understand why the children dove into Poseidon's tornado and got up out of there. I would have to join them. So the parents start arguing because Gil says, you don't need a job. Your job is taking care of those kids. And she's like, what's the maid for then? And he's like, you're the maid. They start arguing in the background. The poor children are sitting right there. Can we please do better? Can we do better? And this is when we see the girls say, what do you see down there? And they start to play this pretend makeup game of what they see. So the little girl and her voice actor are like, I see us on a raft floating like Tom Sawyer. I don't need to be on that raft. I'll tell you that right now. Anyway, she's like, I see us floating down the river. I'm like, oh, yeah, this is mental illness. This is, it's becoming pathological. And I gotta make sure I get CPS on this phone. So now the kids are going back and forth. She's like, I see pirates. He's like, I see a witch, specifically a fat one. She's like, they don't have fat witches. Now the kids are going back and forth with each other. You know, somehow their argument makes more sense than the parents' argument. And I'm like, honestly, 2 children here are making more sense than 2 adults that are paying bills with this big house and children that they are supposed to be taking care of. I hate this. And as the kids start getting riled up, because again, they're children at a pool outside during summer vacation, the mother turns around and she's like, darn you loudmouth kids. Baby, y'all were just sitting there going at each other. You were turning that man every which way but loose. But the kids can't kiki in the corner of a pool? Honey, you don't need children. They really ain't doing nothing. This pissing me off. They about to piss me off and y'all about to see it. I don't like this. I really don't like this, y'all. So the father comes up to the mom and he's like, all right, go ahead and make my dinner. She looks this man dead in his iris and tells him, you can drink your damn supper. You know, she got a point there because, sir, you're not about to talk to me crazy and think I'm about to go in this kitchen and sweat my edges out for you. You're insane. Y'all, the parents start arguing again. All while the parents are arguing, the kids are just fantasizing and imagining themselves in a place that is not the current place. They talking about how they smelling chocolate cake. They see kids laughing, enjoying each other, having fun with parents that actually like them. This is sad. I don't like this. This about to piss me off. When out of nowhere, a child with a straw hat pops up out of that pool and it's like, y'all want to have some fun? They're like, girl, where did you come from? So they stand up and they're looking. This gets the mom's attention. The mom comes over there. She's like, what are you foolish kids looking at? Again, it's pissing me off because at the end of the day, these are children. And she talks to them as if she does not like these kids, let alone love them. I don't like this at all. Y'all know me, I'm a bully's bully. And some of y'all's parents are bullies. And if that's your parents, baby, start looking up addresses for Shady Pines right now. Don't take care of them. Don't do it. So the mom is like, look, supper is about to start soon. Y'all better be in this house on time or you won't eat. And yet again, I don't know if y'all can tell, but I'm starting to genuinely be angry. I do not like when people treat kids like this. It's so dumb. Just don't have no kids. And as soon as the mom steps away, this is when Peter, we're going to call him Peter Sam instead of Peter Pan. Well, Peter Sam comes back up out the water and he's like, why don't y'all follow me? And the kids are like, we don't know about that. The little boy is even more skeptical than the daughter. She's like, you know what? We ball, let's go. And as they are about to get in the pool and swim to this new place, their parents are quite literally yelling at each other in each other's faces. And they're like, they're going to hurt each other. I'm having to stay professional, but I'm about to go use some of them creative, colorful words that SpongeBob was using in that one episode. I'm livid. I need to break the fourth wall. This is looking grim. I think these kids are swimming to the forever ever land, not never ever land or whatever they're calling this. Yikes. This is like the adult version of like Willoughby. Y'all know that episode, the Stop at Willoughby. I don't like this. Y'all, they dive in this pool and they come up to a completely new environment, very similar to the one that they were just talking about and fantasizing about. The little boy, Peter Sam, meets them on the dock and he's like, we didn't know if y'all was coming, but Aunt T sent these along. We get 2 towels from Aunt T and they're like, who's Aunt T? So the kids ask, where are we? We dove in our pool and then we came up here. He's like, you're at Aunt T's. It's a secret place. Again, it don't sound good when you say it out loud, baby. What is going on in there? I don't like this. So the little boy is like, how did we get here? The sister is like, I don't know. Maybe it's a hole in the bottom of our pool. And then they run off and they start like play fighting. Again, I'm concerned because while this seems like a safe environment, now we are in the Twilight Zone. So what's actually going on? Who is Aunt T? Peter Sam runs up to this house. The brother and the sister kind of look at each other like, I don't know whose house this is, but it don't look as nice as ours, which means we're concerned. They decide not to listen to their instincts saying, get out of there right now. Go jump back into that water and swim towards the bottom and go back to your home. They walk in this lady's house. Now they walk into this house and Aunt T looks something very similar to if Baba Yaga had white hair. First of all, if you are in the group of people that play that Baba Yaga video game, you are my people. We are one, okay? Because that video game was fun. Remember I told y'all that was play fighting. They go into Aunt T's house. She's like, don't y'all be out there fighting now, and if you're gonna fight, fight fair. Aunt T goes into the kitchen and gets boxing gloves, gives it to both of them, and is like, and no hidden below the belt. Did she just give them weapons to fight? Like, what? This is nuts. I'm so sorry, y'all, that y'all are not getting like a formal breakdown, but I am genuinely shocked at what I am watching here. So, of course, the little brother is like, girl, I ain't about to get in that. What you got for me? She has a chocolate cake on the table, and she's like, here, you can help me ice this cake. And if any of them got teeth by the time they get back, they can help us eat it. It's everything that they just imagined back in their home where they need to go, because I'm genuinely concerned about them being in Baba Yaga's kitchen. They need to get on up out of there. I know that your parents are arguing, but get on the phone and call the police. So she's like, no problem, baby. Come on around here. You can help us ice this cake. Then Mama T or Auntie T says, you're such solemn children. Why don't you laugh? The daughter says, what's there to laugh at? If children are not laughing, the world is dead. The fact that she called these kids solemn, yes, that's exactly what they were. Solemn children that had no joy, because anytime they make a peep, their parents are like, will y'all shut up? Because they don't like their children, because they don't like each other, which means they don't like what they produced. Does it sound familiar to you? Because if it does, I want you to go ahead and get on BetterHelp.com. They are not a sponsor. They can be if you would like to. However, I'm giving you a free one. Y'all need to go to therapy if this sounds familiar. That's when they realized they ran out of icing. So Auntie T was like, okay, well, I'll go make up some more icing. Why don't we show y'all's new chores in your rooms? And immediately I said, is this Coraline? Is this Twilight Zone episode what Coraline was based off of? Is this the other mother? Because I'm very concerned. And finally, the siblings are like, you know what, baby? We did not come here to stay. We came here for a good time, not a long time. And she's like, but all kids always come here to stay. Why don't y'all want to stay? So the sister is like, no, we getting up on out of here. But the brother is like, No, I kind of want to stay with Auntie. Why the sister go, no, you not staying with Auntie. She a kidnapper. Auntie like, hold on, baby. I ain't never napped no kids. Now I'm going to need you to calm down. All the children come to me and they stay here. I don't tell y'all. Y'all can actually go home now if you really want to. So the kids start heading back to the watering hole or whatever they call it back then. And Auntie is like, not too many kids come back. So I guess this is goodbye. They're like, I mean, if we want to come back, we can. She's like, yeah, sure. I guess kids don't spin the block because obviously if they go back and their parents love them, they stay there. Not these parents though. These parents don't, honey. Back at the house, the parents are looking for the kids because it's time for supper, right? And the mom is getting worried because she's like, they're not around this house anywhere. I've looked everywhere. The dad is like, you can't find them because they don't respect you. Sir, you are also a parent. You find them. The dad in so many words says, no, they don't respect you because you don't spend any time with them. You act like they're burdens. She says, well, you try putting up with their whining all day. And I'm like, yeah, I see why the kids try to drown themselves. So the kids get back. They're drenched, of course, because they just got out this water. The dad is like, where have you been? The little boy is like, well, we went with Aunt T and we got this chocolate cake and then we went fishing. And the girl is looking at him like, bro, shut that up right now. Mind you, the parents are like, what? What are you talking about? No, tell us the truth. They think that the kids are lying. So he's like, until you tell me the truth, you better go up to your room right now and face the wall. If your son just ran away, possibly, and you haven't been able to find him for an hour, why would you then send them to their rooms? Take them down to the dinner table, talk to them. The children are obviously going through things. The next day, the little girl is outside painting, literally next to the pool, luxurious. Her mom comes outside. She's like, where's your brother? She's like, I don't know. I got up early because I couldn't sleep and decided to come out here and paint and I haven't seen him. First of all, when have y'all ever seen a girl this age not be able to sleep? These children be asleep all day if you let it. This child not being able to sleep is a huge red flag. The flag is maroon. Baby, a social worker would have came through this house and cleared it like Lilo and Stitch. There is absolutely no way these kids would have had these parents if a social worker got involved. They hate these kids. And it's starting to show up in their sleeping patterns because why could she not get sleep? I digress. So the daughter is like, well, is breakfast ready? She's like, yes, breakfast is ready, but I need you to go find your brother first because me and your dad want to talk to you. There are going to be some changes around here. The daughter perks up. She's like, good for the better? She's like, absolutely for the better. Now, what the viewers know is that this is probably the conversation about the divorce. That's what she wants to talk to her about. The son is back at Aunt T's house, buffing shoes with Peter Sam at the table. Aunt T is telling them, you need to do your chores because the way you become a dignified citizen is through learning how to work and being proud of your labor. Hey, you had me in the first half of, being a dignified citizen. When you start to talk about labor and being proud of it, who is proud to I would like to not ever labor. What are you talking about? That's like in the corporate world, people be like, what's your dream job? Baby, I don't dream of working. I don't dream of jobbing. What are you talking about? This is my dream job, yapping with y'all about Twilight Zone. And honestly, until it can pay my bills, it's going to be a hobby. What's your dream? Stop asking people that. We don't dream of labor. All of a sudden, they hear a knock at the door. It's the daughter. The daughter is like, hey, we need to get back to the house. I'm going to come inside and tell you why we need to go home. She comes inside. Auntie is, of course, happy to see her. She's trying to teach her how to sew. She's like, yeah, girl, that's cute. You need to come on. It's time to go home. Things are going to get better. Mom and dad are back happy and we are going to have a better life now. We can leave. So Auntie is like, oh, you had a conversation with your parents? How did it go? What did they say? She's like, they said that everything is going to be much better. And actually, they want to talk to us now. She's not realizing this is about the divorce. She's not realizing. So the whole time, my heart is just breaking for this child because I'm like, I know that you're fictional, but babes, it's not going to go good. So Auntie asked the question that all of us asked. What is changing? What is going to be different now? The little girl looks Auntie in her face and says, they're going to love us now. They promised. I hate this. I know these are fictional children, but I genuinely hate their parents. I I don't know what the actors' names are, but they did a fantastic job at making me hate them because children should not feel like this at all. So Aunt T looks at the son and she's like, look, I know you want to stay here, but if what your sister is saying is true, y'all need to go back home. This is not a place for y'all. This is a place for children whose parents hate them. So y'all don't need to be here. Y'all need to go on back home. Love is the ultimate goal in this life, and you need to go find it. So this is where the genius of Rod Serling comes in. The kids go back to the watering hole, whatever it's called. They jump in, they come up out the pool, and exactly where the scene started in the beginning of the episode is now where we are in this episode. They get out the pool, they walk up to the little breakfast table, and they sit down, and the mom says, "We're getting a divorce." I also want to call out that when they walk up to the table, they're both wet because they just got out of the pool from the portal. The mom is like, why are y'all wet? Why are both of y'all wet? The daughter's like, well, I had to go find him. He was in the pool. She's like, what did I tell you about children that lie? The little girl looks her mom dead in the face and she says, I don't know, they go to hell and they burn up. I wonder where she learned this. I wonder where a child this age learned that type of language. Her mother, who hates her, of course. So like in the beginning of the episode, the son says, she told me that you have good news for us. What is it? We're going to be a happy family. It's going to be fun. Everything's going to be great. The mother goes, no, we're getting a divorce. I hate this. I don't like this at all. It's not supposed to even be funny. So this is when the kids are like, are you serious? We have to pick a parent to go to, and it's overwhelming for them. They just got this information out of coming from a place where quite literally it was a kid heaven. So they decide to run back to the pool. This is what was happening in the beginning of the episode. Remember, we've looped back. They go back to the pool. They jump in. That's why the girl was like, we got to be able to get back. Typically, kids are not able to get back. But they tried. So that's why we see them jump in the beginning of the episode and say, Auntie, help us, because they're trying to get Auntie's attention so that they can go back through the portal and go back to Never Ever Land or whatever it's called. Y'all, they go through this portal. They end up back where Peter Sam is fishing. They go into Auntie T's house and they're having cake at the table. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, these kids just drowned themselves. This was the better place for them. They drowned themselves. And as they're at that table eating the cake, you hear the parents say, kids, where are you? Where are you? The girl hears a little bit, but she just continues to ignore them and eat their cake because quite literally it's above her now. Quite 6 feet above her because she's dead. This child is dead. I don't know. And this is when Rod Serling comes on and tells us that their need for love turned from fantasy to reality, and they found it in a secret place in the Twilight Zone. If this does not wake you up as a parent, I don't know what will. This episode ripped me apart. Y'all saw my literal reactions. I could not believe that they were talking to them kids like that. If you don't like your children, don't have them. Here's also the wildest part about this. This is the last episode of the original Twilight Zone series. A banger. For you to end with this, oh, Rod, Uncle Rod.
It's a make that magic request.
You're just too good. And just like that, we are done with this week's Twilight Zone breakdown. And this has been